Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Saturday, March 4th, 2017. In both the Lynn Life and the Jamie Body Mind, the authorized souls remain only child souls from the deeper, denser dimensions and nature realm's guardians. There are an awful lot of presences around right now who feel like their way of life is coming to an end, like it's all over. And they're choosing that way of thinking about things instead of just choosing to change and do things differently, which is an odd choice, but it's the choice they seem to be making. As always, our foundational intention is to do what is ours to do right now in all dimensions to manifest the divine plan, since that's what our soul plans commit us to doing. And with that, the formally videoed portions of today's efforts begin. How to use these limited resources in such a way as to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do. What now? I can hear the question zinging up and kind of bouncing off one edge of a container or wall as the question goes up. It keeps bouncing off. It seems like a plexiglass container. It isn't glass, it's more like plexiglass. And I see a very big kind of like scientific person looking in, and they see the like streak of light that is the question.
That's true.
They're not interested enough in what's really going on. I see he's asking the wrong question. He's asking, is that blah blah, is that something something?
That's true.
And the answer is no, it's not whatever you're suggesting.
That's true.
He's not asking what is that. He doesn't have an open inquiry.
No.
What now? In order to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions given the reality of these limited resources, what now? He says that can't be all the resources that are available to apply to the problem. I think maybe this might be the disconnect. First, you're confused about who's speaking.
That's true.
Look up, look up, look up. The voice who is speaking to you it's kind of like throwing one's voice, but the voice is actually way up high. Look at that waving hand. He's not looking, you're not looking,
no.
You're not looking. Alright, well, there is a voice from above who is speaking to you. That's what's going on. And the reason that the resources are so limited is that there are many presences who are supposed to be participating in the effort to manifest the divine plan, who are instead choosing to do nothing. And so the resources that are available for the project are limited to the presences who are willing to put their resources on the table.
That's true.
By definition. Are you willing to put your resources on the table, for example? To use everything that you have and everything that you are and all your time and all your grace and all your energy and all your finances and all your focus and all your assets in order to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do. And I can feel you chuckling and saying, no, you aren't. And so that's how most people feel, and that's why the resources are so limited. And so again, we present the question to you with these limited resources. What now in order to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions? He says it can't be done. We disagree.
We disagree.
We disagree. Thank you for your opinion. Step aside. All of us who really want to know what the situation actually calls for to the search for truth central axis. All others flung away. Let's try again now. What now? In order to manifest the divine plan, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, given the reality of these limited resources. What now? I can feel the question just continuing on into space, but it isn't going straight up. It's kind of It's like something that has been shot up, but it's reaching the apogee,
Yes,
and
that's
it's
true.
starting to fall back down.
That's true.
All right. So there isn't anyone within hearing who is interested in that question.
That's true.
Okay. Let's put another question on the table. What would be another good question?
The simple one of what now in order to live this soul plan right here.
We can try. Just wave the soul plan. What now in order to live this soul plan right here? There is interest.
That's true. I feel leaning forward,
yes.
feeling.
Wave it again. What now in order to live this soul plan right here? Somebody is plucking up the question. What now in order to live this soul plan right here? You know what it looks like? It looks like now they have battery acid on their hands.
That's true.
And they don't want to answer this question. This one burns. This
That's
one
true.
burns. But now in order to live this soul plan right here, I feel a backing away feeling.
I see the backing away people, their feet
Yes,
moving away.
backing away. What now? In order to, let's ask, what's a better question?
What is a better question?
What's a question that will work in this situation? How about how about this? What does this situation actually call for? What does this situation actually call for, given the reality of a soul plan to manifest the divine plan, no matter what anyone else doesn't do, and the reality of these are the resources of grace and energy and finances, focus, assets, and time that we have to apply to anything.
They just said no matter what anyone else doesn't do. They didn't say does or doesn't do. They literally just said doesn't do.
Well, that's good, and that's a start, but we also need something to cover the reality of sabotage, which has been strongly apparent for a good 3 years.
That's true.
And possibly longer. And so we actually need to say what now, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do. What now in order to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, since that's what our soul plans commit us to doing, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, given the reality of our limited resources of grace, energy, finances, focus, assets, and time. What now?
Head shaking, backing away.
I see the backing away, and I see holding the breath so as to not fog the mirror, is what they're saying.
That's true.
Okay, that doesn't make you look better.
Oh, that's true.
Interesting. Let's correct the error of reaching too low.
That's good.
And correct the error of talking to the wrong people.
Oh, that's really good.
Correcting the error of listening to the wrong people. Correcting the error of associating with the wrong people. Correcting the error of reaching too low. Well, reaching too low, and they are indicating reaching down. We aren't friends, we're reaching up.
That's true.
We're reaching up. How about this? Would you be willing to take our communications, tubes, channels, conduits, and stretch them up higher than you are to a higher source? Because you seem to be about at the top of our range, and you don't seem to be interested in the project to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do.
That's true.
And we're not implying that you should be. Are you willing to hand up these channels to those who are above you, looking down at you? And now the ones who are looking down at them are reaching down for the channels.
That's true.
Hi, guys.
There's clearing feelings in the head.
Are you interested in helping manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do? And if not, would you be willing to pass our channels up higher than you to those who are above you, who are, I think right now, reaching down for them? Would you just hand us off? I think they're willing to hand us off. Now I'm getting itching at the ends of nadis.
That's true.
Interesting. Okay, friends, we are in the search of presences in your dimension or higher to work with in a project of spirit, to manifest the divine plan no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do. Does that interest you? And if not, would you be willing to hand our channels up to those who are looking down on you, who are in fact reaching down right now? I can see them reaching down.
That's true.
For the channels. Would you be willing to just pass us on up, so to speak? Well, they passed us up, and nobody feels any different. It just all feels the same.
That's true.
Is there anyone up there who believes themselves to be outside of the contaminated zone? It has to be higher than this level. Is there anyone at a dimension higher than the dimension that currently has the tips of our channels who believes themselves to be outside of the contaminated zone? And if there is such a presence, would you be willing to reach down, grab the tips of our channels, draw them up to your dimension so that we can have a conversation? I feel
shifting, pulling up.
Everything looks very small, but it might be just because it's at such a distance.
That's true.
It's possible. Hi, friends, and it looks different, like tiny aliens.
Yes, that's true.
But I think it's just because it's so far away.
I think so.
Hi, friends, we're working on a project of spirit to manifest the divine plan for all dimensions, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do. Are you interested in a project such as that?
They're making faces like they don't understand the question.
Right, I think, and their answer, it sounds like insect talk. I think
true.
We have communications issues.
Oh.
What now? In order to manifest the divine plan, no matter what anyone else does or doesn't do, what now?
Maybe get the flow of souls moving up.
That's a good idea. Let's pump up dead children who really want to get to God as high up as we can and get them from the electron level and from the level of the smaller subatomic such as quarks and photons.
Whoa.
And from the neutron level, and from the molecular level, from the level of the cells. And as big whoosh waves of souls, of dead cells go up, sometimes the host bodies of those cells have dead souls who are also willing to go up with
That's
their
true.
own cellular selves.
That's true.
Go up as high as you can. When you start to fall down, as is inevitable, get off at that level and tell the presences there what happened to you. Ask them why it happened that way. We have a big opening.
A big opening in the head.
Big vertical space. Let's just get as many of these dead presences through us as high as we can. Get the flow going. Dead children who really want to get to God. Merging in. I've been waiting for you. Come on, let's go.
Going straight up.
There have been so many things that so many presences have said that turned out to be not true. And they really thought it was going to happen.
That's true.
And they were good souls who were trying to help. And they gave advice that they believed to be helpful. And it wasn't helpful.
That's true.
And somebody's asking why that was. They're kind of like pointing to all these data points and saying, what do you make of this? We think that the zones are contaminated. We think that's what's going on. We think there was a divine delivery system that used to both cleanse dimensions and also deliver grace to those dimensions, and that it has broken down, and they're asking why did it break? We believe it broke for a lack of maintenance, basically. We could be wrong about that, but that's what all the data points seem to show. And that inside of that contaminated zone, good presences can no longer tell what's actually going on. And not only that, patterns that used to hold true no longer work. It's kind of like what happens when climate change begins.
That's true.
Why do you ask? Kind of out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Okay, well, curiosity is the first step.
That's true.
And then to form a working theory and take actions toward that working theory, to make a change, actions build commitment, and then to make a commitment to living our own soul plans first.
That's true.
And then to helping other people around us live their soul plans also, until finally we're all doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing, moment by moment by moment by moment by moment. And in that way we have manifested a divine plan. What's your soul plan?
Maybe they never asked that question before.
It sounds like a new thought to them.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think what we're going to do is just do a closing process and call it a day, because I don't have the energy to do this again.
That's true.
With about the 3 millionth person starting from scratch, and they get through the first 3 steps and then they're gone, and then the 3 million and first person steps up, and we go through the first 3 steps and they're gone, and it just never really gets anywhere. So we don't do entry-level classes anymore.
That's true. They're very offended. They're saying, well, I'm very advanced, I'm not entry-level. And how dare you say that? Grumpy, very grumpy.
Look up, look up, look up, look up, look up, look up. See that hand way up high who's waving?
I see it.
That's who's speaking to you. That's who's speaking to you. That's who's speaking to you. It's like bouncing off. Think of it like an echo chamber.
That's true.
And so look up and talk to them. Look up and talk to them. Talk directly and try and hear them directly. And when you can hear them directly, then you can wear the advanced sticker and we will acknowledge it. Until you can hear them directly, from our way of thinking, you are no more advanced than anybody else. Look up at them. Stop looking down here, please. Look up. Look up. See that waving hand? Oh my God. Okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm going to have to close. We're done. We're done. They don't want to...
No, he doesn't want to look up.
You don't want to look up. You don't want to acknowledge what's really going on.
No.
You see, next,